Hola, buenos noches, ¿cómo está? Muy bien, y tú? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another episode of Handsome Artist Dating Stories with your favorite handsome artist, me, Forrest. And if you couldn't tell by the greeting, as well as this beautiful throw blanket behind me, I'm in Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico to be exact. In November of last year, I took a big leap of faith. I got rid of most of my stuff, packed up my car, packed up my dog, little Thelma, and we took a cross country trip from Atlanta to LA, then came back east a little bit, spent New Year's Eve in Joshua Tree, then went to Phoenix, Arizona, and then I crossed the border into Nogales, Mexico, and I drove all the way down here to Puerto Vallarta. Yeah, man, that was a huge leap of faith. Um, I had came down here last April for a veterans retreat. I was actually on the island of Yalapa, and I looked across the water, and there was just a ray of sunlight beaming down on PV, and I was like, God, is that the promised land? Oh yeah, I got back to Atlanta, and I was like, yo, I am tired of paying damn near or pretty much $2,000 for rent for a one bedroom. I was, rent utilities around $2,000. I was like, I'm cool. I don't have to be on this hamster wheel of struggle anymore. I say this that after COVID, Atlanta wasn't fun anymore, mainly because it wasn't affordable anymore. I lived in Atlanta twice. The first time, it was when I was in school. And while I was in grad school, I had a two-bedroom house that I rented from a church for $800 a month. It was right outside the perimeter, right over there, close to Six Flags. And you're never going to get that again. You're paying $800 a month somewhere in Atlanta. Yeah, you staying in the trenches. So yeah, it was a very, 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 very interesting journey. I drove. Let me see. Let me take you through the route real quick. I drove from Atlanta to Louisville, Kentucky. Met up with the mother of one of my friends, family friend. Then I stopped in St. Louis for a few days. Then was in Kansas City, Missouri. Hung out with my brother for a few days. And I drove out to Colorado Springs, Colorado, because I had been stationed at Fort Carson before. And then from there, let me see. I had the option of going to Salt Lake City, Utah, or um, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I chose Albuquerque. And the wife or the ex-wife of one of my partners happened to be down there. We might get into that during this episode. And then from um, Albuquerque, yeah, I went down to Las Cruces, New Mexico, and then I went up north to Las Vegas, Nevada. Then from there, I stopped in. Why am I blanking out? Why am I blanking out? Why am I blanking out? Victorville, California. I got a cousin over there. And from there, I drove out to LA. I got up out of there before the fires. I said headed back east to Joshua Tree. It was a beautiful experience, especially with the shrooms. And then Phoenix, then down to Nogales, from Nogales, Mexico to San Carlo, from San Carlo to Los Mochis, to then to Mazatlan, and eventually to Puerto Vallarta. So interesting trip. So let's get right into it. I'm going to be talking about three, maybe three and a half women that I messed around with in the last few months, and then briefly about dating in Mexico. I'll do the dating in Mexico part because I am new here. I've been in Mexico, well, Puerto Vallarta to be exact, for about 2 weeks. Yeah. And it's an adjustment because in Atlanta it was nothing but black women. Down here it is white and brown. And so the day I got to Puerto Vallarta, I um, hopped on the apps, which I don't know. There's some creator on TikTok that lives in Colombia. He was like, "Hey, don't get on the apps. Approach these women out in the streets and stuff like that." I was like, I wasn't really going out there like that because I had a lot going on anyways, and I was just trying to see the lay of the land and see what was out there. And so I connected with this lady, this white chick on Facebook dating, and we hit it off. Talking on WhatsApp. She happened to be a social worker. We were supposed to link up, uh, but I was tired the day, and yeah, that day. So I was like, "Hey, we can still talk or whatever." So we were talking on WhatsApp, and then I left voice notes because my preferred way of communicating is voice notes and text. I do not like talking on the phone um, at all. Like the only women in my life that I talk to on the phone are my grandma and my mom, or some woman that's really got me sprung. But anybody new, nah, I'm good. So yeah, I left her a voice note, and she was like, "Hey, can we talk on the phone?" And I was all like, oh, "Here we go." And she was older. I mean, it's like, okay, I think she was like 40 something. And right there, older women they be wanting to talk on the phone, and I'm good. And I just told her straight up, I was like, "Yo, I'm not really a phone person because how my mind operates. Can we do voice notes?" And she hit me with the thumbs up. And right there, I was like, "Yep, this ain't going nowhere." And so the next day passed, and I didn't hear from her at all. Still haven't heard from her. So it's all good. Then I switched Airbnbs. Once again, I was looking on the apps. Then I connected with this one woman. Say her name. Fuck it. Anna. And she's on vacation down here from Canada. And so we're talking, take it off the app. She was a little baddie, man. Yeah, so I was like, hey, she was like, hey, you want to FaceTime? I was like, fuck it. You're on vacation. I'll make an exception. You fine. But you was talking about, I don't want to hook up, I was like, whatever. So we're talking, and she tells me she's got kids, which I don't mind. One was 20 something, and then the other one was 12-year-old boy. Red flag number one right there. And I asked her about it. The age difference. And she's like, yeah, I got two different fathers. I was like, cool, it's whatever. But yeah, she told me about that 12-year-old boy, and I'm all like, yeah, nah, because I'm selfish. I will say that. I don't want to share her with other responsibilities. Yeah, I'm cool on that. Um, yeah, and then too, she's living in Canada. In my mind, I come up with the scenarios where I could see it working, but I was good. And it was funny because her business is a dating business, like a dating coaching business, which I found rather funny later. But we were supposed to link up. She wanted to meet up for shisha or whatever to smoke stuff, and I'm like, I'm not really a fan of smoking except for weed or whatever. And I wasn't messing with that stuff down here anyways, because I rather, I was getting it from the dispensary back in the States. And I think, let me see, what day is this? Tuesday. We were supposed to be linking up Sunday after she had dinner with her kids. And so we're talking, like, mind you, the communication going. And then ask her about dinner, if she's done with dinner. Crickets. And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Here we go. So the next day go past, crickets. And I'm like, I'm not hitting her up again. I'm like, I know where this is. Because I am not doing all the pursuing when it comes to dating these women. It's got to be reciprocated, balanced. I want to be wanted too. We are both the prize. And at first I was gonna cut, sling load on her first. And then I was like, waited, and then I checked the app. I see she had unfollowed me on Hinge. You know what? I just deleted the conversation in WhatsApp, and I was just thinking too. I was just thinking, like, how the fuck are you gonna be a dating coach and your communication sucks? I swear, these women, man. Like in my mind, I would have been down to help her with her business because I used to be a therapist, so I know a lot of the psychological side of dating and people and all that stuff. She claimed she did too, but the jury's still out on that one. So I've come to the conclusion that I just need to continue to focus on me and my art and getting these millions so that I can just buy these bitches time. That's it. Uh, I went to church on Sunday and the interpreter, man, she is so cute and she's bilingual too. Well, of course, because she's the interpreter. Duh. But yeah, because I went to church in the morning and she was interpreting, and because they use like a little mini like iPod type thing, and you listen. It's almost like some United Nations shit. And then I ended up going to church that night, and she sat over by me, and I told her, I was like, "Hey, I don't need interpretation. I'm trying to learn Spanish, through immersion." And she was like, "It's cool." And she went back over to her seat, and we talked a little bit afterwards. I think when I see her again, I'm gonna ask her like, "Yo, you got a boyfriend? You got a husband?" Hey, I looked at her finger. I didn't see no ring. But if anything, I wouldn't mind just starting out being a friend or something like that because I could I could really use a bilingual person down here to help me with business. I'd be like, look, I would pay you to go along with me and help me deal with business. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, just gonna have to buy their time. That's pretty much it. I would love to be in a relationship. Uh, you know, preferably, I got to get one first, and preferably a throuple. It's funny seeing these women on Hinge, or yeah, it's pretty much these dating apps, and it's monogamy, 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 and I'm like, I could do monogamous shit, but I'm not a monogamous person. I will say, on the apps, they're a little bit more open as to what they want. Once again, these are white women, so they're gonna usually be more open, and then a lot of them from Canada. So there's that. All right, where do I want to begin with these ladies? Do I want to go backwards or do I want to go forwards leading up to here? You know what? I will go forward. And I can't remember the order of when I fucked these different women. So I'll go with contestant number one, which is Jesi. Jesi is a 36-year-old a white woman from Mobile, Alabama. I met Jesi at the Thinking Man Tavern in Atlanta, Georgia, where she was a server. Um, I would go to Thinking Man Tavern every other Wednesday night because they had this thing called Oxygen, and it's pretty much where producers, beat makers could go play their beats. And so I was going there on a regular basis. And when I first got there, I noticed this cute white chick serving, and I was like, "Oh, cool." And I usually don't fuck with American white women like that. I think I have fucked. Let me see. I think before her, three American white women. I don't feel like doing the count. But yeah, so I didn't pull the trigger on it. I just, kept going. I was just like, just trying to get the lay of the land in there because I was like, I gotta come back here. So I'm not trying to make this shit awkward. And so I'll be ordering food and um, I would be drawing, making art before it was time for me to play my beats. And she was like, "Hey, I like your art." And then one day I wore my dad's coveralls from his days at Ford. And she was like, "I like your outfit." So I was like, "Oh, shit, she into a nigga." And so I was like, all right, one night, I was like, how am I going to pull the trigger on this? So I was like, I asked her, I was like, hey, yo, what kind of music do you like? And she was like, Beach Boys, which it threw me off because I expected some, I don't know, some Taylor Swift, some emo shit, something like that. So I was like, all right, bet. I was like, I'll cook something up for you. And so I think I procrastinated. And I think the night before I was going to, the night before I was supposed to go back and play beats, I started on it, but I don't know. I didn't. I was like, you know what? I'm tired. I don't know. I'm not going to like how this comes out. Uh, and so I don't like their poppy shit, not their top 40 stuff. So I was looking, for deep cuts, and I found this one song, "Listen to Me" or something. It was off the Pet Sounds album. And then I was like, all right, I was like, you know what? This might not get done because I had to Uber the next day. But something happened. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I didn't Uber. I went home. I made the beat, and that beat is by far, I don't know, in my mind, that's like my best beat of all time. I could talk about how I made the beat on another day, on another something. So made the song, played it. I don't think she heard it, but I told her I made it, inspired by her. And so yeah. Um and then finally I just like pulled the I was like, yo, you want to go out, got her information, got her Instagram. Um I saw she had OnlyFans. Mm-hmm. Ended up downloading those pictures. Yeah, I was going to pound town with my hand. But yeah, we ended up she was busy, but we finally hung out. We ended up going where was our first day? It was Argosy back in the East Atlanta Village. And just the whole interaction, like the way she was looking at me, I was feeling like Michael Jackson and shit. She was so fascinated by my army stories, and we had a great talk. She told me about her life, and we were just talking. And then, of course, my favorite go to is like, hey, you want to go out to the car, listen to music, we get talking there. So we're talking, and she's all like, hey, I gotta go because I she had to work in the morning, and during the conversation we was talking about sex in the conversation. So I was going to try to eventually take her back to the crib and fuck the first night, but yeah, she had to work. So walked her back to her van. We kissed and shit. And so yeah, she went home, and one night we were just texting afterwards, and I was like, let me peel back some layers. And she let me know that uh, she had too much going on. She really wasn't interested in a relationship, and she also had a friends with benefits situation. So I was like, thanks for letting me know. Before I got my feelings into it, I was in my feelings, and so I ended up skipping out on Oxygen, whatever next weekend that was. And I tried to like stop talking to her, but I'm just like, Forrest, quit tripping. You about to leave anyways, motherfucker. And so I ended up going back, playing my beats for her and shit like that. And then I kind of told her, the deal and shit. And and then finally the stars aligned. We ended up going out on a date. Went to Muchachos, one of my favorite Mexican restaurants in Atlanta. It's a wonderful date. I was like, hey, you want to go back to my place? Uh, and we did. And I played. Yeah, we ended up watching Snow on the Bluff, and then we fucked, and it was beautiful. Oh, it was wonderful. I was, missionary. I was chest to chest, heart to heart. Oh man, uh, no condom. And so that head was fired too. Ooh, I'm getting hard just thinking about it. And and so we ended up going for another round. I was like, I don't know when the fuck I'm gonna fuck you again. And so we did another round, and we were supposed to try to hang out before I left, but it didn't happen. Like I think the Sunday before, yeah, I was scheduled to leave. I went to Pinups where my partner he works at. Hung out with him for a little while, had some lunch, talked to one of the strippers and shit. And on the way to Pinups, you pass up Thinking Man. So I'm driving by. I look see if her van's there, not there. On the way back, not there. So I was like, you know what? And then her communication, she just once again, she didn't have the capacity for me. And I asked her before I went. I was like, yo, do you want to keep talking? She was like, yeah, we can. And then after a while, crickets. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I do need to I would keep her subscribe to her OnlyFans, but she don't post shit. And I think I got 2 free months and that's about to end. So I think I'm going I don't know. I don't know how to handle that situation because I could just buy her time and just, the pussy money get the pussy moist. So I don't know. More to follow on that one later. Next up we have Tiara. So I originally fucked Tiara. I don't know. I'm gonna call her T. So I was fucking T. Well, we fucked once in 2023. It was right around the same time that I might have done an episode about her. I can't remember. That I was fucking with Yana, and I caught feelings for Yana. I could have kept fucking T all throughout that summer and shit, but I swear the decisions I'll be making sometimes. So, um, yeah, and I felt like I kind of weirded it out because I fucked it with the mask on. So, I tried to spin the block after everything ended with Yana, but I guess T really kind of wasn't having it for real. And then I think we were just talking back and forth sometimes on TikTok, and then one day she was like, "Hey," because I did take a video on her phone of us, and she was like, "Hey, do you still got that video?" And at first I was all like, "What's up with this?" I was like, I kind of flipped it. I was like, "Hey, is my dick out there or something like that?" Like I really care. I don't give a fuck. But I was just kind of like putting the ball in her court. She was like, "No, I wanted to watch it again," and I was all like, "Shit." We could always make another one because I didn't have it. Yeah, she had it. I was like, we could always make another one, and she was like, cool. So she come back over, and we make another video. We fuck. Oh my goodness, her mouth and like her beautiful brown eyes, the way she would look at me while my dick was in her mouth, chef's kiss. Um, she ended up like falling asleep, and I was like, "Hey, yo, I gotta get up for the drive in the drive." So she ended up leaving, and and we ended up talking, texting her, talking later, and I can't remember how it came up, but pretty much that situation was her. She had a boyfriend who wanted her to wanted her to suck my dick and then take a video so he could watch it. Or actually, I can't remember how basically she asked if I would have let her FaceTime the session or whatever, and I was like, yeah. And she was like, damn, I wish I would have known that because her boyfriend wanted to watch it live. And so she was, and then she talked about, yeah, that's why he was hitting me up, and she was all like, because all she was supposed to do was suck my. We weren't supposed to fuck. That wasn't the plan. But shit, it's me. She was just supposed to suck my dick and take a video and that'd be it. But she was all like, yeah. He asked me if we fuck because he was blowing up my phone afterwards. I was like, oh, okay, all right, hey. And so, what else? she later she sent me a video of her sucking his dick. So I was like, cool. But I could have her on the payroll and some shit, but she talking about she wanna get married, she wanna have kids, and I'm like, nah, that is not me, sister, at all. Mm-mm. Nope. All right, is that it with her? Yeah. Next up, another big titty Taurus named Ashley. Gotta love it. All right, so Ashley says we know each other from Twitter, which we might. I just remember maybe Twitter moved to Instagram. We've known each other for years, at least 5 years. Yeah, just kind of social media type shit. And that was one where I was liking her pictures and shit, and I pulled the trigger, and she sent me new. We exchanged news and shit, and then years went by, and we would check in time to time, see each other's stories. So I was like, hey, yo, I'll be out. I'm taking this cross country road trip. I didn't expect to be out in L.A. Like the plan was Vegas, Joshua Tree. I think Vegas, Victorville, maybe Joshua Tree. But I eventually decided I was like, hey, I could go out to L.A. Just do the whole, go all the way to the West Coast. So I get out there and I'm like, yo. First I was like, hey, I'll be at Joshua Tree, but I'm like, she ain't finna drive all the way down there just to see me. Consider we've never met face to face before. So got to L.A. We end up linking up for dinner at this pizza spot down in Chinatown. And she had a friend, a male friend that ran the spot. He was a manager there, chef as well. And so it was the three of us. We were talking. I ain't know the situation between her and him, but he paid for our meal. Um, I'm glad because the pizza and the wings were mid. I don't know. I'm sorry. LA, I guess LA ain't really known for their food. Oh well. And so I was like, all right, cool. It was, cool friends linking up, date, shit like that, or something like whatever. And then I was like, hey, you wanna link up? And she was like, yeah. What was that for? Oh, okay. All right, bam. I remember now. So I was like, we could just chill. She was like, yeah, could we could either come, I can come to you or you could come to me. And I was living in East, I'm not, I was staying in the Airbnb in East LA, and she stayed in Inglewood, and it was like a 45-minute drive. So I was like, you know what? I'll come to you. And so get over there, and then because we were gonna smoke, have edibles, and in my mind we was gonna fuck. Like I had visualized that shit and everything. Yeah, so get over there, and then we go to the store to get snacks. Did we go to the store to get snacks, or did we get burger? We went to this fire. Never mind. There was a spot in L.A. The burger there was. I think I had a chicken sandwich. That shit was fucking fire. So we ate, smoked, ate, watched a show. We talked, and I'm all like, one of my favorite things to do to get the ladies open up a little bit about sex is, what's your kink? And she said, oh, I don't know if I really have one. She later told me that her kink was exploring. But a little time goes by, and I'm all like, all right, let me go ahead and pull the trigger on this one. So we were sitting next to each other, then I turned around and just kissed her, start making out. And I was like, yo, you want to take this to the bedroom? And we did. But oh yeah, before that, when we were at the grocery store getting snacks, just the way she was looking at me, once again, just that look. And so yeah, go back to her bedroom. Boy, she take her top off and that bra off, and she got some nice titties. Nice titties. Hold on. I'm getting horny just thinking about it. Let me see. I shouldn't be hitting her up. Let me see. Let me see. Fuck it. Fuck, I miss being inside you with the hot face emoji with the tear or the sweat. We'll see how that goes. Oh man. So eat her out, you know, and give her some great head. Did she give me head first? I can't remember. Either way, that head was fire. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was some great head. And so we fucked with a condom. It was great. I spent the night, but that first night, oh my goodness, I ended up waking up. I had heartburn. I was like, this damn chicken sandwich. Ate this shit too late. So dealt with that. Smoked. Helped. Fell asleep. Dip out. Head back to the Airbnb, and I was like, damn, good treatment, good pussy, feelings. So right then and there, me loving like a woman, I'm just imagining a whole life with her. I was like, dang, do I really need to go to Mexico? I could, try to thug it out in LA, for a little while, go half on the rent or some shit. I even asked her too. I was like, yo, how much your rent? And then she got a yoga studio. I was like, I can help with the yoga studio, all that. I was like, oh, I could convince her to come to Mexico with me. I was like, nah, I ain't. And then, but the communication, like me, I'm thinking like, yo, we talk every day or some shit. She got a job that I don't know. She works. I don't know. Her job be working her, but the communication was like, So I asked her. I was like, yo, what do you have the capacity for? Well, she was like, I really didn't expect to. Okay, this conversation happened later, so I'm gonna talk about this for the sake of talking about it. But she's like, yeah, I didn't even expect us to have sex, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, cool. But yeah, before that conversation, we ended up going to the movies. We saw Gladiator 2. I think she wanted to watch. Her options were like, I think Wicked, some other girl movie, and Gladiator 2. And I was all like, Gladiator 2. So it was cool. Great movie. Went back to her spot. Fucked again. No condom this time. No. How'd that go? No. 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 Was it that time? I'm getting these mixed up. Okay. Somehow, some way, yeah. First time with a condom. Next time without. I don't know what. I don't know. It was morning, I think, or something. So I rubbed on that pussy. I can't remember. One of the times it wasn't no condom. Oh, and I got the nut inside her too. Oh my goodness. Man. Oh man. Let me see if I got a response. Because I got it on. Deliver quietly. All right. All right. So, um, was it the following weekend? I don't know. In between us hanging out again, once that conversation, and then two, she ended up going to the doctor. Um, and so the next time we hooked up, she was all like, "Hey, can you use a condom?" I went to the doctor. Doctor, I'm not on birth control. Doctor reminded me about safe sex. I'm like, fuck, cop blocking ass doctor. And I was all like, I really don't want to get a condom. And then I was like, I went at first. I went, and then I don't know. I guess I didn't look thoroughly. I was high, and then I'm like, you don't find one. I was like, I ain't find one. Hey, let's, there's other ways that we can, get to where we want to go. So, good old oral head. Oh my goodness, that mouth. And Oh my goodness, I got the nut in her mouth. Bruh. And so, I ended up staying out in LA for about a month, and we were supposed to. Okay, all right. I think I'm getting the timeline straight. One day we were supposed to hang out, but somehow, some way, like I kind of like we were texting, and I was kind of waiting her to respond and shit, and then she never did. And I'll be the one that once again I'm like, yo, I'm not doing all the work. If you really want to see a nigga, you will let it be known that you want to see a nigga. I'm like, come on now. We both in our 40s. And so then like we talked about it, and then I guess she was like, I'll be having texts in my head, and I'll be responding to my head, but it's like, all right, whatever. And we linked up one last time. I think that was the condom the oral night. And then I leave, and so I knew not to. I was like, you know what, we ain't finna be talking every day. I'll check in from time to time. And then the fires happen. I'm like, shit. Here we go. The capacity is 0 to none, basically. I mean, she wasn't affected by the fires, Inglewood and shit, but still. So I was like, I might keep her, on the roster or some shit. I was like, hey, fly you out for a vacation or whatever. So we'll see. We'll see how this text gets responded to. All right. So we need to go on and wrap this up. But before we do, before that, when I went to Las Cruces, New Mexico, I hung out with my one of my buddies from the Army, his ex-wife, and I call her C. Yeah, she's a cokehead, and I was like, damn, I don't need to fuck with this shit, but I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm taking a cross country trip. Fuck it, I'll try it. And so I just basically flat out said, hey, you want to do some coke and then fuck? And she was like, sure. So I didn't snort it. I just, took a big old dab and rubbed it on my gums and shit. I'm not a big fan of coke anyways. But she ended up licking coke off my dick. We took a video and shit. And we fucked. No condom. Damn, wild ass nigga. I do need to get tested again, but I ain't got no symptoms, so I still am gonna get tested because is that it with that one? Yeah, pretty much. I ended up seeing her again in Phoenix, but when I got up there, she was there with some dude, and I didn't know the situation with that, so I played it cool. So yeah, I am going to get tested because I found a chick on, I think, X or maybe Reddit. I don't know, but white chick, she does OnlyFans, and I did the free subscription. She did say she don't have a lot. There's not a lot of content partners for her down here, so I know how I'm just going to buy her content, hit her up through there, message her through the app, like, hey, yo, what's up? I already know she know love black dudes because the music she listened to. So yeah, we will see how that goes. I really be wanting to dog these hoes out, but I got feelings, and I don't like condoms, so I would like to have consistency, and then also too, I like to vulnerability, consistency. I want to build with somebody, but I gotta go back to the one of the best two pieces of advice. One from Patrice O'Neal talking about you gotta have a mailroom, can't be giving promotions too quick, and then also my one homegirl Wintress told me, hey, I gotta treat these hoes like appetizers until they want to be the main course. So yeah, I think that is it. Yep. That has been a Handsome Artist Dating Stories episode. If you're an artist and you would love to be on Handsome Artist Dating Stories, go ahead and hit me up. I will put the link and the information in the description. And that's all I got. Be great. Peace out. Adios.